Welcome to another NFL season. It's just preseason, so I don't want to overreact to anything, but we're gonna talk about it. Cam versus Mac, Deshaun going off on reporters, Dak injury, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence. We got a lot to talk about. Black quarterback series, let's do it.
Shows the ball, they buy it, look at all the defenders going with the run game, and then Jesse James sneaks out, gets lost in coverage, backpedals into the end zone.
So if you don't know me, my name is Keith. I do Black quarterback series videos. If you want to follow me through the season, and if you want to be nostalgic and watch last season, where I did the playoffs in general, it was Black quarterback series, but it was more playoff feel. I did every game. Let me know. Links to my socials be in the description if you want live updates. The top link will be all my stuff up to now. Let's get into it, man. So, we're gonna start with a new segment. It'll probably be its own video. I like to call it 60-second review. 60-second review is gonna be, and I'm gonna cut it up into a smaller video. 60-second review is where I'm going to talk about stuff that I really don't talk about like that, like Trevor Lawrence and Aaron Rodgers and everything else that doesn't have anything to do with Black quarterback series. That's going to be that section. It's called 60-second review, but it's not always going to be 60 seconds because I talk longer. So those cuts might be raw, and I don't know how I'm going to do it. But we're going to start that here, right? So we're going to talk about Trevor Lawrence. So Trevor Lawrence, he started off just as slow as Justin Fields did. Started off really slow, but he ended up getting it going. I think he played about a quarter and a half. I didn't see Tebow play, so I can't tell you. I think I changed the game to the Kansas City game at that point. But just from what I saw online, Tebow was Tebow. He didn't play very well. He's tight end. But Trevor Lawrence looks like he's probably the best quarterback in Jacksonville history, just on one preseason game. This is a franchise that was trying to convince us that Blake Boyles was the answer a couple years ago. Now, granted, they got to an AFC Championship game, but we knew it was on the backs of their defense, right? We knew that. Jalen Ramsey and all those guys on the defense, which I don't think none of those guys are there anymore. And it's just like 3 years later. So he's working in a rebuild. He's working in a rebuild. I think Trevor Lawrence will be good. He's going to get sacked a lot, which I'm concerned about, because I don't think Trevor Lawrence's mental is that well. I think Trevor Lawrence's mental is like, what's that guy's name? Carson Wentz's mental, where he's not that mentally tough. But if Trevor Lawrence can develop mental toughness, he's going to need Joe Burrow's mental toughness in order to get through this, because it's going to be a rough season. I didn't do a schedule review for them, but I don't see them winning no more than 5-6 games. And that depends on what Urban Meyer transitions to the NFL game. Old school guy. That's his part of this country. So we're gonna see how it turns out. Trevor Lawrence was decent, but his first year is gonna be rough. And that's just what I got from the first preseason game. Lord knows how we're gonna be when everybody plays, But moving on, Justin Fields. Oh my God, man, he's the truth. I don't have his numbers in front of me, but you guys will see his numbers. I think he threw 2 touchdowns, 100 and some yards. I think he had a rushing touchdown. But yeah, Trevor Lawrence started slow, just like Trevor Lawrence did. Justin Fields started off slow, and then that's a really good Miami team. So I can't really hold them to that big of a deal. That's a really good Miami team over there. He ended up getting it going. I think it was in the beginning of the second half. Now, I think it was against the second or third stringers, but either way, he looked good. He showed flashes and got the people of Chicago excited. Like, what are we talking about here, man? Like, start Justin Fields. Let's not do all this extraness. Like, Justin Fields obviously is the better quarterback. Now, I know Andy Dalton is the veteran, and they might not be trying to win right now, and, you know, all that. But it's like, come on, let's start this process right now. Justin Fields is clearly the better quarterback, and he should be playing, and he should be starting. I get what they're trying to do, but why shortchange the process when you know Justin Fields is obviously a better quarterback here? He looked really good in the second half. He fought back from adversity like he did in Ohio State, and that's just what he did. Really, I was really impressed with him in his first preseason game, and we're gonna get some more of him next week, and I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully, it's televised. So the games I watched were televised. I'm gonna try to catch the Ravens game on the rebroadcast. I don't think I got LJ play though. They have another black quarterback that I really want to look at. But so you might say, Keith, how are you going to say that about Justin Fields, but then not keep that same energy when it comes to Cam Newton and Mac Jones? I will say the difference between Cam Newton and Mac Jones is that Mac Jones has not flashed. Don't let Boston media fool you into thinking that, oh my God, Mac Jones flashed. Mac Jones didn't flash. Mac Jones played well. Mac Jones did what he was supposed to do. Mac Jones played decent. Like, Mac Jones was not electrifying at any point in the game. He missed throws just like Cam Newton did. The only difference is Mac Jones had more plays. I feel like if if Cam had just as many plays as Mac did, their numbers would look almost pretty much the same. So don't let these Boston racist media fool you into thinking that Mac Jones was freaking Peyton Manning in his first preseason game, and Cam Newton was it Nathan Peterman who threw those 5 interceptions? That don't let them convince you that Cam Newton was post-injury Jay Cutler. Like, don't let them convince you that, because that's not what it is. Cam Newton was 4 for 7. I think he threw for 89 yards, and if it wasn't for a holding call, they would have scored a touchdown on their drive. So context is everything. Fields flashed. Fields popped off the screen, and you're like, whoa, that's the guy right there. Mac Jones did not do that. He made a couple good bubble screens. He threw some passes, and he threw a pass that was off, just like rookies do. And the Boston announcers tried to act like they didn't see that and blame the receiver. Like, no, that was Mac's fault. He threw a ball off target. So that's the difference. If Mac would have flashed, I would have came out here and been like, oof, man, Cam Newton got some work to do. But that's not what happened. Mac didn't flash. Justin Fields flashed. So that's the difference between those two. I'm sure I'm going to get that question at some point. So refer them back to this part of the video. Jalen Hurts, he played okay. He didn't play very many snaps, which means he's the incompetent starter. Like, there's no competition. Jalen is the starter there, so that's that. We'll see more into that later. Well, more into that as the coming weeks come. Hopefully, Jalen Hurts can become more accurate, and I think he's a tremendous leader, so I don't think that's a problem. And a guy that's kind of in the Jalen Hurts position, who's kind of like Jalen Hurts, is Dak Prescott. I think Dak Prescott is a lot more accurate than Jalen Hurts, but as far as talent, I think the talent is comparable. Dak Prescott. So there's no timetable on Dak's injury. There's no timetable on Dak's injury. He went to go get an MRI, like, precaution. It was something. If I can find a clip of him saying why he got the MRI, I would find it. But it was just weird. Like, even Shannon on Undisputed was like, I'm not just gonna go get an MRI just for the sake of getting an MRI, right? So we don't know. We don't know what the necessary, what's going on with Dak Prescott. He won't let us know. They're just saying it's something with his shoulder, and he'll be ready to go by the season. Which leads me to believe that I think he has a separated shoulder. You don't just go to MRIs. You don't just go do MRIs and it not be something serious. So if you have to ask me, and I was the diagnoser, I separated shoulder, and I think he'd probably be out to week 3. That's what I think. And the Cowboys are trying to act like they're trying to downplay it, like it's not something serious, but it's very serious. This is something very serious. And speaking of surgeries, to briefly touch on Hard Knocks. We're going to talk about Hard Knocks. So Hard Knocks. It was good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Dak was the center of attention, you know what I mean? And Jerry Jones had to be Jerry Jones. I enjoyed it. Good to see that Zeke, St. Louis product, is healthy and is in shape. I like the fact that they're taking carries away from him. But I don't like the fact that Dallas' head coach is asking his bosses, can he cut his running load at? Like, you're a head coach. You're supposed to do that. Like, why do I need your blessings to cut his carries down? Like, I'm the head coach. I'm supposed to make those decisions. And this is why I don't think the Cowboys will ever win another championship. And you just look at it from a company perspective. If your boss is always in the kitchen, right? Always hands on and always in your face, right? You're gonna be on edge all the time, and you won't work your best because nobody works their best when they're tense and they're intense. But if your boss is always in the office and he only comes in dire situations, like say you're down a cook and y'all need him to come in there and whoop 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 whoop, that's cool. And that's what I see with Jerry Jones. Like he made mention in the press conference what I wouldn't give for a Super Bowl. How about you just be an owner and leave player personnel to the people you pay to do player personnel? Like, that's what you need to do. You've had one of the most talented rosters for the last 10, 15 years, and y'all have only won like 3 playoff games as long as I've been alive. I'm only 26, so I came along where I was born right in the mix of the Dallas dynasty, and I've never with my own two eyes seen Dallas even contend like that. They've been 8-8 my whole life. So that I just really wish he would stop being extra and just let players play, let coaches coach, and let owners own, right? And so we're gonna end on Trey Lance. Shaky, very, very shaky. Other than the big play downfield, the big 80-yard pass downfield, it didn't look too good for him. The Shanahans are a big run play family. His dad was a running team first. He's a run team first, so I get it. So I think I'm glad they didn't trade Jimmy Garoppolo because Jimmy G needs to be the starter there for at least the first 4 or 5 weeks. Just from looking at the way Trey Lance is. Now, Trey Lance did play with the second and third players, even some of the 4th-string guys. I think he was in there most of the third and maybe 1 or 2 snaps in the 4th. I think he'll be fine. He just needs to be up to speed. When you're coming from AA, you're not really used to the NFL. No rookie is used to the NFL speed. But I think more than anybody else, Trey Lance just needs to get used to the NFL speed. I think he'll be fine. Big time play downfield. That 80-yard bomb downfield, I think that was nice. But everything else was just very, very shaky. He played like a rookie. Essentially all of them played like a rookie. Trevor Lawrence, Trey Lance, and Justin. They all played like rookies. But Justin was the one who flashed the most for me, and Trevor Lawrence just needs help. So yeah. One more thing. Deshaun. So like I said, Deshaun went off. He didn't really go off on reporters. I'll show you guys. I've either shown you guys the video already, or I'm put it at the end. I'm not sure what I want to do as far as the editing. But Deshaun is just tired, bro. Like, you can just tell in his face he's ready to go. And Houston is just not letting him go. He's not on the commissioner exempt list yet. It's just a really weird, rough situation for him in Houston. And I want to keep reporting on it, but if there's nothing there, I'm just not going to talk about him. So, no real big news on Deshaun. And so I'm not getting into the legal aspect of that. I'm just not going to do that. But yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much the news. Like and subscribe if you want to hear more rants and all this football knowledge that I got for y'all. We moving forward in the season. The season is 2 weeks away, man. 2 weeks away. My birthday is about a month away. Well, it's a little less than a month away. And yeah, we're moving on up, bro. We're moving on up. Expect major changes throughout the season to the show. The quality is about to jump and go crazy. So hopefully you guys stay tuned and follow my journey. Drop the Guy, Black Quarterback Series. I'm out. Oh, one more thing before I go. Dwayne Haskins. He's probably the future in Pittsburgh. I'm going to leave you guys on that.